Now, decorated gymnast Simone Biles has clashed with women's sports campaigner Riley Gaines on X. She posted something quite nasty, writing, "You're truly sick. All of this campaigning because you lost a race. Straight up sore loser. You should be uplifting the trans community and perhaps finding a way to make sports inclusive or creating a new avenue where trans feel safe in sports. Maybe a transgender category in all sports. But instead, you bully them. One thing for sure is no one in sports is safe with you around. Bully someone your own size, which would ironically be a male." Gab, nasty, nasty and low. And I've got to say, Biles has been roundly criticised here because Riley Gaines, not only was she beaten by a man, but she has worked tirelessly ever since to protect girls and women from men taking over their sport.
Yeah, she does, but there's a lot of support for Riley Gaines here, and this is one of the biggest stories in the US right now. And Simone Biles wrote that horrible tweet when Riley Gaines was called out that there was a biological male competing in its softball tournament and where else but Minnesota, Tampon Tim's country. But look, Riley Gaines has hit back at Simone Biles' comments, and she's brought up rather Larry Nassar, of course, the convicted pedophile who was convicted for assaulting hundreds of young girls. Now, I'll read you exactly what she said. She wrote, "All the horrific sexual abuse that Simone Biles witnessed and spoke out against caused by one man, yet believes women should be forced to strip naked in front of men to validate the man's feelings. You know how many gold medals you'd have if your inclusive dream came true? 0. Now, Riley Gaines also clarified her position that she absolutely hopes that this convicted pedophile Larry Nassar just spends the rest of his life rotting away in prison. But at the same time, men do not belong in women's sports, and female athletes continue to be failed by a system that protects men at the expense of women's safety." And look, she's absolutely right, and we are just seeing that support for Riley Gaines at the moment.
Now, I wanted to get your reaction to the IDF boarding Greta Thunberg's so-called Freedom Yacht. What did you think of this little expedition by Greta Thunberg? Did she achieve her aims? I mean, she's certainly got a lot of international attention, which is what I guess she's really after. She's in the business of attention seeking.
Mm-hmm. This PR stunt of hers has spectacularly failed. It was always going to. I mean, this narcissist Greta Thunberg, who just has spent so many years being so hysterical about climate change, and now she's, showing support for Hamas on this ship, which was absolutely ridiculous. She was bringing in barely any aid to Gaza, thinking that she was going to be some hero. She was going and doing CNN crosses and live streaming it, and even before Israeli authorities took control of this ship, she even recorded a video saying that she had been kidnapped by Israeli authorities. If anything happens to her, it's because she's been kidnapped. She has just become such a laughingstock if she wasn't already, and it's brilliant. We have heard from Israeli officials that were reacting to this and keeping us all in the loop pretty much instantly. They clarified that all the passengers and the celebrities on board the selfie yacht are, of course, safe, unharmed, and they were provided with sandwiches and water. And this show is well and truly over. But just to put it into perspective, how much aid they were actually carrying, it was less than a single truckload of aid. And just for some perspective, more than 1,200 aid trucks have entered Gaza from Israel within the past 2 weeks. Congratulations, Greta Thunberg. That has just been a spectacle for us all to laugh at, and she has completely failed. She's on her way back to Israel, and then she'll be going home.
I do like the term selfie yacht, though. That's something new that we can have fun with. Now, I've got to ask you also about Hugh Jackman and Deborah Lee Furness. They were the golden couple for so many years. Their divorce is getting increasingly ugly. They've begun splitting up their assets, including their real estate assets, $36 million apartment in Manhattan. Gab, there's even talk that Deborah Lee Furness might do a tell-all book.
Oh, wow.
This could really blow up Hugh Jackman's good boy, golden boy image. He's been always known as this Mr. Nice Guy.
Absolutely. Well, that would be an interesting read for sure. But as you say, they're right now splitting up their assets. They've got $250 million. That is their fortune that they have to work out. So this divorce is probably going to get pretty messy. As you say, that $36 million penthouse apartment in New York City. It's in the Chelsea district, beautiful area. It's got it's a 3-bedroom place. 5,000 square feet. It looks out to the Hudson River. The apartment features an elevator entrance, a library that convert to a 4th bedroom if it wants to, a chef's kitchen with a breakfast bar. It certainly looks pretty fantastic, but they have some places all over the world, not just in the United States, here in Australia as well, and the UK. So I think we'll be seeing more reports as they work out how to divide up their fortune.
Yes, and apparently Hugh Jackman is now living in that apartment with his new lady, who he perhaps was seeing for many, many years throughout his marriage. Allegedly. Gab Power, pleasure to speak to you tonight. Thanks for your time.